Hey everyone, it's Lisa Davis from Lisa Davis Body Construction. Today I want to talk about 4 skills that we can use with our jump rope routines to make our reaction time faster for our muscles, as well as increase our cardiovascular strength and endurance. We're going to increase our lung capacity and our ability to output at a high intensity for longer times. So I'm going to assume most people here can already do a basic bounce. I'm going to use a beaded rope here to talk about this. If you're new to jump rope, you've got to be able to do the basic bounce without doing 2 jumps in between. I was trying to do this and I couldn't even do it anymore. But we all know the feeling when we turn the rope slowly, do 2 jumps. We got to get past that. We got to only do 1 jump every time. So if you haven't gotten to that point yet, work on that first. But once you've gotten that, it's boring to just do that. And also, we're not going to continue to improve unless we can continue to challenge ourselves. And when we're new to jump rope, our heart rate seems to go up really fast, and people can only do it for a short period of time. But once you get better at it, your heart rate doesn't go up anymore, or at least not nearly as much, and you're going to start needing to add moves or different ways to add intensity in order to get that training effect to continue to improve. So again, I'm using a beaded rope here. This one is from Dope Ropes, and it's adjustable. You have to tie a knot, take out beads, for me, if you're shorter than the length, but it comes long, so you got a lot of range. And again, it's nice that they're adjustable. I will put links for these things below. The only one I have a discount code for is the Dope Ropes site, which can get you 20% off with my link. Beaded ropes are great, again, for beginners, or if you're more advanced and you want more drag. So to me, they add more drag. It's almost like adding weight to the rope, like a weighted rope in a small amount. The second rope I'm going to talk about is a PVC rope, and I have 4 millimeters and 5. This is a 4 that I prefer. Whoops. And I like these because they move fast, and I like to jump rope pretty fast. But I like resistance. My heart rate doesn't want to go up, doesn't want to stay up, and so I need a good amount of resistance, and this is great. One thing, again, these are from Dope Ropes. One thing I like about Dope Ropes, I've got a lot of kinds of ropes that I've bought from a lot of places, but these are consistent every time I buy one. If I buy a 4 millimeter, it's always the same. These again are adjustable. I also have 5 millimeter PVCs from these guys. They've got a string in the middle and unbreakable handles. I've had these little things break before, but not the handles, so that's great. I like PVC ropes that have some heft to them, and I'll talk about that in a moment as well. Another thing, I don't really use this one, but it's a wire rope. Wire. It's adjustable as well. This one has a little set screw. And it's from Survival Cross Ropes. Like I said, I don't really use this one. But some people love these for things like double unders, especially if you're just learning the double unders. It'd be nice if it wasn't in a tangle first. Because it is so light, you can really jump fast with those. I haven't adjusted this, it's too long. I also have here my cross rope Get Lean set. So this is the green one is the 1/4 pound, the white one is the 1/2 pound. They come together in the set. I use it a lot. It's got a swivel handle. It swivels very smoothly. See if you can see that. Very smoothly. Put that in the way. The nice thing is, press these little buttons. It comes off. You put on the 1/2 pound. Pretend I put the 1/2 pound back on. Secure. It's great. I love those so much. And I have other weighted ropes that I like too, but these high quality handles are durable. I'll show you this. I noticed I drop them a lot, but they got a little buggered on the end, but it's great still, solid, It's gone through, it's taken a beating. I've had this for a couple years and I use them frequently. These are not adjustable, and I bought the medium, which corresponded to my height on the chart, but it was too long. So I've got like a double knot here and a single knot there, and now it's the length that I like. On the half-pound rope, it's thicker, so I only have 2 knots, but you can see how much bigger they are. So we're going to talk about each of these as I talk about the moves that I'm going to talk about as well. I haven't even started the workout yet, and I'm toasty, so off goes the jacket. All right, we've already discussed the fact that you want to get to the point where you're proficient at the basic bounce. Okay, so you can at least jump, I'd say, a fair number of jumps without making mistakes frequently before you start adding, and be to the point where your heart rate is not sky high. And then I think that the best thing to start adding is a simple knee lift. I'm going to talk about it. Some people call it an A-skip. By the way, these are great drills for boxers, runners, all sorts of things like that. But this A-skip is a one-leg thing. As you can see, you're going to be on one foot at a time. So practice those. So you can mix between the basic bounce and an A-skip / knee lift. I usually call it a knee lift. And then when you feel like you're good at those, start adding in a butt kicker, I call it. So try to keep your knees pointed straight down on these and try to get your heel up towards your butt. So right there. And you can try doing just one leg and just the other leg. The next skill I think would come in great for most anyone who's trying to increase their cardiovascular abilities is a jumping jack. So you're here. Now it's going to be a bit of a struggle because most of the time when people's feet go out to the side and they haven't ever done anything like that, they're going to trip. So again, I've got the PVC rope. I mean beaded rope, because I can jump slowly with it. But you're going to hold your hands a little lower on this to lengthen your rope, to give room for your feet to go out to the side. So again, you don't need to necessarily be perfect at any of this. In fact, you're never going to be perfect. I've been doing this several years now. I'm far from perfect, but I'm definitely getting better. So don't be hard on yourself if you don't get it perfect. Then try mixing those things together. All right, the next thing that I think really helps people increase their cardiovascular fitness and agility and ability to move quickly is crossovers. And people struggle with these as well. And I usually don't do these with a beaded rope, but again, you can do it with a beaded rope because it helps you learn it at a slower pace. If you use one of these other ropes, it's going to be harder, and you want to do it until you feel proficient with an easier thing to turn and something you can turn slowly. This is where you're going to start needing some tips. When you turn your hands, turn them back. So I'm not going to be here turning. I'm going to turn my whole wrist and hand to point behind me. Another thing that I think is important when you're doing this is to change which hand goes in front. We usually have a dominant side, and we're going to miss more on the non-dominant side. So I just practice changing every time. And when you feel a little better, you can try doing it with the jog
And you might need a longer rope.
Here's another thing about crossovers. For me, I can just be like killing it, 100 in a row, no mistakes. And the next day, I'll mess up after, I can't even do them. And I feel like, I call it a slump, but I feel like I relearn. And it used to frustrate me so much, but now I view it as a chance to review my form, because there's a reason I'm messing up, and that can go for anything you're learning. And that's going to be much more intense than either of those first two things, and practice it. Do all of them after you get it. So you got your basic bounce always in there, you got your knee, your butt, your jack, and then your crossovers. Another thing to keep in mind with the crossover, at least until you get good at it, you're going to be jumping a little higher. The last skill, and arguably the most intense, is the double under. Some people think crossovers are more intense. I think they're pretty close to each other, but they're both right up there. The thing with the double under that can also increase the intensity, besides jumping higher, is the timing. So here's another time when probably using a beaded rope will be helpful when you're learning.
But in a few minutes, I'll talk about how a wire rope might be preferred.
But the timing is a big deal. People struggle, and I'll tell you what I see all the time. They get the second turn and they land on it every time. And I don't even want to, I can't even do it anymore. But once you get it, I did a toe catch on that, but I've seen other people explain ways that they think help people get the timing, but really nothing takes the place of practice. So you are going to practice those jump higher than you would with basic. Gives your body a little more time to clear that rope. Hold the rope low. When we get tired too, our shoulders tend to shrug up and we're up here doing stuff, but that's going to shorten the rope. So we want it down there. If your rope is too long, it could bounce on the ground, come up and trip you. And that goes with anything, but especially double unders. So make sure your rope's not too long. And as you get better and better with these skills, you're probably going to shorten your rope. A lot of people start out with their arms out here, but as you get better, your elbows are going to pull in and you're going to turn the rope with your wrist. Big difference, but my rope is down here, not out here. So another hint when you're doing double unders is try to pop straight up. I've seen people also teach this by saying just for practicing purposes you could kick your heels up. I don't like practicing something the way I'm not going to do it later. So I don't recommend that. Pop straight up. When you feel like you have all those things down, try putting them together in a little, I don't know, flow or something for yourself. So you go basic bounces, knee lifts, jacks, crossovers, double unders, until you can do quite a few and your heart rate's not going so sky high. Then you're going to change things up a little. Now keep in mind, I never learned with a beaded rope. I got that later. So I always used a PVC rope. So I've always been fast anyway. So I like fast things. But if you're used to doing them slow, which is great, highly recommend that, you're going to need to go faster in order to get your heart rate up again. And if you're trying to make your reaction time quicker for boxing or running or whatever your sport is, you're going to have to do things faster. But we want that heart rate up. So try switching to a PVC rope when you can do those things slower. And now you can do them faster. So knees, butt kickers, jacks, crossovers. I tend to do them with a jog. double unders. And obviously, when you are done with that, you can go to a weighted rope. And I have workouts on my page, a lot of jump rope workouts, and I'm working on more that are interval related, where you're switching the ropes. You're going to the different ones all the time. So here's my 1/4 pound cross rope, and I'm gonna practice everything with that. And you would do more than just a couple most of the time until you feel really proficient at it. So that pushes my heart rate up. Oh, I don't even have my watch going. But if I did, it would say it was going higher. And I have a very low heart rate anyway. But I also like to throw in my 1/2 pound. So I'm gonna squeeze my little levers. Maybe if I can get a good grip on it. Pull those out. I'm gonna get my 1/2 pound rope. Remember, this is a cross rope. I don't have a discount code for them, but every time I go on their site, they seem to have some sort of a sale, so that's good. See how easy that is? I love it. Anyway, 1/2 pound is a lot more than a 1/4 pound. Shocker. Math is math. I'm mathing. It works your muscles pretty intensely as well. So I love that. And we know that that's also going to help us create force. So again, if you're a boxer or whatever your sport is that you need more force, this is going to help you do that. So practice all your stuff. It changes the dynamic so much having the heavy weight. Make sure you're always warmed up really well before you do these kind of things, because it does stress your joints. And carrying that weight on the jump adds more impact. So make sure you're warmed up well. Now, I've had a lot of clients. I'm a personal trainer. I've had clients in the past or other people who email me or contact me through this channel and have questions about double unders and things like that. So I'm going to talk about the wire rope. Here's why I don't really use the wire rope very much. I like it to be intense, and this is too easy for me. It's too light. But if you're really struggling on the double unders, if you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't turn that rope fast enough, because you're not going to turn it fast enough with a beaded rope. At least it's harder. It's going to be harder with either of those ropes, any of the ropes I've already showed. This is so light, it might help you if you're struggling with your double unders. I need to shorten it. I'll show you how this one does. It's easy, straightforward. If you have one, it's easy to know, but you just loosen that little set screw, put it to where you want it. It felt pretty darn long to me. I haven't used it in so long. I probably have changed my form quite a bit. Let me see. Nope, still too long. Set screw loose, slide it down. Let's check that length. Here's how I show how long I like mine now. I step on it with one foot, and my hands, I don't include the handles, but I like them to come to my waist. Some people like the handles to go up into their armpits, whatever. Pretty much, this is the length I like. So that's so light. I could do easy 100 double unders without getting as tired. But I'm doing double unders because I want to get tired. It's like doing 200 sit-ups or doing with weight. You can do fewer with the weight, but you're getting more bang for your buck. So, but if you're struggling to do double unders and you need your rope to go faster, try a wire rope. Oops. Obviously much easier than doing with them than with anything else. In conclusion, I just want to say how important practice is. Nothing replaces practice. I know people who can quickly do a double under and they don't have to try as hard as others, but no one's going to master skills without practice. And I have a lot more practice I need to do. This is coming from someone who's a slow learner with skills. But I'll tell you what, I'm very hardworking. When I want to do something, I focus, and I think I pace myself pretty well, but I will work on it. One of the things I'll tell you, when I was trying to learn the mic release, I could not catch that thing, and I was throwing it clear out to the side. And then I got really good at it, but I always caught it at the side, which I think is fine. But I'm trying to just jump over it now. So I practice it every day. And we're talking like 100 tries. I don't count necessarily the successes, but definitely the tries. I try 100 of something. So if I'm trying to learn knee lifts, 100 knee lifts, and I think we all know that our heart rate gets up even if we make mistakes. Sometimes it even goes higher because you get mad. Anyway, be patient with yourself. Some things I see holding people back is if they're not perfect at it or don't feel comfortable doing it, they don't do it at all, or they won't do it in front of others. It's the same idea as trying to lose weight to go to the gym or something. That is not needed. And I don't think anybody's looking at us going, oh, she messed up, or he messed that double under. What a loser. Most of the time they're like, wow, that's amazing. I want to do that. It's more inspirational, and I think if people see you make a mistake, it shows that you're not perfect and that they can do it too. You're the one with the goals. If we let other people hold us back, we're the one who suffers. So try these things. If you have any questions and you think I could answer it for you, send me a message. I would love to either shoot another video that's more specific to that, or answer your question in words, however you want it. But let me know. I want to help others. I want us to be fit and feel good. That's the big thing. Even though I do lots of different kinds of things to spice up my workouts, those 4 things I've shown you, I think, are the 4 things that are going to increase our cardiovascular endurance and power, and our muscle reaction time being shorter and quicker, that we can be better in our sport or in our daily lives. Have a great day.